Hi, I'm Jerome, founder of LivingLifeLite.com. Welcome. This is my first YouTube video, so bear with me. Over time, quality and production of videos will improve. Sometimes you just have to get started, so here's me getting started. But before we do get started, let me tell you my vision for this channel. I want to play in the middle of the fascinating topics of health and wealth. So the first few videos will cover intermittent fasting and binge eating. Eventually, I will talk about the future of work. But before all that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Growing up was a very interesting time for me. By the time I was a teenager, I had started developing this unhealthy relationship with food. In fact, when I was in my early 20s, I was an avid junk food eater. I used food for any situation, whether that be pleasant or unpleasant. By the time I moved to New York City, I developed a massive sugar addiction and I started becoming very overweight, inflamed, and I started developing all kinds of allergies to foods that I didn't even know. It got to the point where I could barely function at work. I was bloated, sluggish, depressed all the time. I just didn't know what to do. I really didn't know where to turn or who to talk to or anything. But I did know that if I continued on this path, I was in for some serious trouble. At that time, my friend, a good friend of mine, started seeing a holistic chiropractor and nutritionist. She started seeing great results, and I thought that maybe I should look into this myself. But of course, the fear and those demons of not wanting to change overwhelmed me for months. But my personal health problems got so bad that I knew I had to do something. My very livelihood was becoming affected. So I decided to make my first appointment. That appointment was probably one of the scariest things I've ever done. I still remember to this day sitting in the doctor's office, just in the chair, like not knowing what to do. I was sweating. I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to be able to afford all these doctor's visits? Blah, blah, blah. All these things like racing through my head. In fact, when I left the doctor's office, I was more overwhelmed than when I started. I even decided that I would try this new nutritional plan I was given for a few days, and if it didn't work, then I would go back to the way I was eating. Fortunately, I started seeing results straight away. I bought some nutritious foods, started putting them in my body, and I instantly started to respond positively to them. It wasn't all positive, because once you start cleansing your body, you start developing symptoms like diarrhea, sweating, and insomnia. But after a few days or a few weeks, those do tend to dissipate. And then you start seeing positive results like clearer eyes, clearer mind, and massive weight loss. I started to become so inspired by my own transformation that I wanted to share it with others. So I enrolled in a health coaching program that taught me how to support others in their own transition to better health. Then I started writing ultimate guides on binge eating to provide value so you can take control of your health. Hit subscribe and click the link below to get my guide on how to stop binge eating at night. This will give you actionable tips that you can use today to overcome your addiction with food. That's it for now, and I'll see you soon.